What's up, everybody? It's the favorite nerd at Club 54's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the X-Men Marvel Legends Wave Part 2, Shatterstar, Dazzler, and Colossus. Let's not waste any time. Alright, so we'll start with Colossus. This is the more modern Colossus, I think, like when he became a Horseman of Apocalypse and all that kind of madness. At least that's what I'm reading. I think he's wearing this suit. But let's not waste too much time talking about the ins and outs of Colossus. However, I will say when he wears that suit in the book I'm reading, he does look more like this. He has that beard, the nice gunmetal paint added to both the beard and the hair and around the orbits, like the shadow of the eyes. So that's done really well. Not for me, but it's done well. Colossus himself is pretty well done, and I'm not sure. This might be a new mold, like a new book, like for a larger character, like maybe getting rid of the Hyperion. I don't know, because I don't think this is the Hyperion mold. No. Anyway, this head sculpt is done the same way. Same detailings and stuff. The silver looks great. The arms have a black wash on them, but this silver here is clean, which is a little strange, but I think it's fine. I think it works, and the eyes are painted nice, like marbly white. Looks great. Ball hinge for the head gets you down to there, but breaks the sculpt up entirely. To not break the sculpt up, you can kind of get down to there, and then up to there, but once again, it doesn't really look real, but you can kind of get to there. I don't know. I think you can work it. And then the swivel, of course. The head does sit a little obnoxiously far off of the neck. Not the best, but not the worst. On the shelf, I don't think you'll have an issue. Torso is painted relatively clean. It's a little fuzzy, but it's not the worst. I think it's a yellow plastic. Good call. Good call. So they painted the red because yellow is a pain to paint. It is a lot of paint required for this, and I think it does it mostly fairly okay. It's not great, but we've definitely seen worse, and we've definitely seen worse on a Marvel Legend. Waist swivel, ab crunch, all the way down to there and up to there, so that works. The paint continues throughout, and the sculpt continues throughout, so that works. The arms, disc hinge for shoulders, get you up to there. Make sure that's right. Yeah, down to there, and then the swivel, all the grooves in the arms are all sculpted, and then it all has this black wash. It settles fairly well. Bicep swivel, single hinged elbow, but it works fairly well. Wrist swivel and hinge in and out. This piece is a piece over top of it. The yellow is definitely painted on, but it's done, once again, fairly well. Same for the other side, including the hinge. T-jointed ball joints for hips that get you out to there. Thigh swivel, this is a place that this is yellow on red, so this is a lot harder to do, and you can see they really needed a second coat here. A little bit here as well, but you can see the difference in paint between the two. This one is much more fully covered. Double jointed knee gets you back to there. The line work on here for the paint is pretty well done on the sides of the legs. Yellow's painted on top of here. That's done fairly well, given that it's yellow on top of red. Ankles tilt up a taste down to there, and then rock, and then orange is painted on the foot itself, and that is this fella. So, you know, sculpt wise and stuff pretty good. Just there's a few little cosmetic things that could have been done you know, a bit better. I would like to hope. You know, I don't know how easy it is to paint this stuff, honestly, but I would like to think there would be a better way to paint some of this stuff. But otherwise, the nuts and bolts of it work fairly well. As for Shatterstar, he comes with two accessories, these two swords. As you can see, he holds them just fine, and they're decent enough sculpts. Joe and I were talking about these swords. Like, I remember that one at least was double-bladed, but I thought they both were. So did he. But one is single-bladed and one is double-bladed here. And nowhere to store them, which I think is a bit of a missed opportunity. It feels like that would have been a no-brainer. There's even a peg for it. So there are a lot of things that I like about this figure, though, overall, so let's get into that. So the hair is all sculpted and then painted, or at least washed, with like a darker brown. It all looks really good, and then the hair band here is painted, but it gets a little outside the lines. Not the biggest deal, I'll take it. The leather is all washed, both on his kind of helmet and his shoulder pad. It gives it a nice leathery look for a $20 figure. Really great job. Good idea. We got gold paint on the one eye with the black around it, which looks good, and then the other eye is painted extremely well. So that's nice. Ball hinge for the head, even with all that extra stuff, gets you down to there. I say that looks great. And up to there, once again, looks great with the swivel. Everything works really well there, just mechanically. We have the scarf, which is an extra piece that sits over top, and the scarf is connected to this, which gives it a very natural look, and it stays out of the way. You know, I'm usually a fan of the shoulder pads being attached to the shoulders, but that works really well. We also have this tampoed on, and that looks good. The shirt is like a sculpted like shirt material, like, you know, it has like stretches in the fabric and stuff. Let's see if I can't zoom in a little on that. So that looks really good as well. We have an ab crunch, gets you down to there and up to there, breaks up the sculpt a little bit, but I think it's worth the cost of doing business. And then a waist swivel with no problem. Belt is a floating piece. Once again, it's washed, and then it has the silver painted on. It's all sculpted and painted fairly well, so no issues. Disc hinge shoulders get you up past there with a bicep swivel, and then we have the fabric with a double jointed elbow and a wrist swivel at the wrist and a hinge in and out. Same for this side. T-jointed ball joints for hips get you out to there, forward to there. The black lines are not the best. You know, we have different types. So it's all white plastic. It's all black painted on. So that's a really kind of a tricky one to do to make look clean. And this one doesn't do it very well. And then we have this floating piece here, but it stays lodged on pretty well. So I don't have any complaints about that. Double jointed knee. So that works fine. And then a swivel at the boot. Ankle tilt up and down, and then the rocker. Nice sculpted folds in the boot, and the boot is painted very nice and clean. The one thing I will say is that the legs, my legs are a little wobbly, so it does make him have a little bit of a challenge standing, but it's not the worst thing in the world overall. This is one of my, if not my, favorite of the set of the wave. And lastly, Dazzler. Now, this isn't the Dazzler that I would have preferred, but this is kind of the classic Dazzler. I would have preferred the blue with the short hair, but that's because I'm a 90s kid when it comes to X-Men. Head is on a ball hinge, get you up to there and down to there. We have hair that is washed. Nice face paint on there, really sharp, really clean, really well done, as well as a decent face sculpt. White eyes, black eyeliner, black eyelashes, black eyebrows. The lipstick is painted, and then we have this necklace over top, which is a floating piece but sits fairly well, sits fairly naturally. Articulation is limited due to the hair sculpt, but I think it's worth it because it is a good hair sculpt. And then we have this piece, which is an extra piece glued on to the chest. And that's interesting. It's effective. It's smart. I'll give it to him to keep costs low. And then the shirt is actually sculpted. I would have thought it wouldn't have been, but it actually is. Well done. Let me back out so we can see. Extremely well done. I like that. Disc hinge shoulders get you up to there, and then the swivel around. We have no bicep swivel, but we do have a wrist, an elbow that swivels, so that gets you that. And then the bracelet is not sculpted on. It's painted silver, but it's painted clean. Wrist swivels and hinges in, out, and then she comes with a microphone, which is a gray/silver plastic that's washed with a black wash. Same for this side, except we have one of our famous things that we now love to put on everything. And I'm a big fan of those. I think they do a really effective job, but I'm just getting tired of seeing them. We could use something different now. Once again, it's the smaller female build, so we have a ball joint. It works a little bit better than the other one. And then you get the swivel as well. And then we have T-jointed ball joints for hips, fairly limited. That's something we have been cashing in some articulation, I feel like, with the Marvel Legends recently. And then a thigh swivel, double jointed knee, and then we have a hinge ankle. So we have an ankle tilt up to there. That one's really tight. I'm going to be careful. Back to there. And then it rocks. So the roller skates, I think, is a nice touch given the character and the kind of character design and some of her history and such. But yeah, I think it's you know, I can't believe, I'll say this, I can't believe this was made. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like I live in a world where you could see like a retro Dazzler figure and a main line of toys from an American company. Like, that just strikes me as strange. But I'm not hating. I'm not upset about it. I'm happy about it. But yeah, kudos to Hasbro for taking the risk on this. I'll give them that. So then, in a continuation of Tuesday's video, On the opposite wall, I have my Spider-Man villains, which are getting there. Still missing a few key players, but they're definitely getting there. They're looking pretty good. And then my X-Men villains, which still kind of the same thing, just missing a few key players, but getting pretty close to done here. And then sort of all the other villains. Avengers villains, cosmic villains, magical villains. And I know Dr. Voodoo isn't one, but I think he has been from time to time. He just looked cool over here. But yeah, it's Dormammu in the back, looking good. And then kind of just more. You see, I have both Thanos's. I still have the Marvel Select one. I think I'm going to get rid of the Marvel Legends one. It's just, I mean, he's not as articulate or anything, or articulated, but he's just more imposing. And I love having the Death figure with him. So yeah, all in all, pretty good. It actually helps when you know, Marvel Legends doesn't produce a whole lot of villains, so you know, you can kind of collect a lot more and with a lot less space. Final thoughts wise, I will say if you're not into the Build-A-Figure and you have the Marvel Select Colossus, I don't think I'd switch out the Select for this. I don't think this is that good. I will also say that this Colossus is a little bit more hollow than I'm used to feeling with Marvel Legends recently. It doesn't feel like as much of a solid mold. The Shatter Star, however, is an easy no-brainer must get, and the Dazzler I would recommend as well. So overall, you know, a really solid line. Like in retrospect, looking at all of it now, I can say, you know, all the hair got washed or painted or, you know, hooked up some kind of way. You know, they didn't take a whole lot of shortcuts this go round. They really, I think they did a pretty good job. A really solid wave, a really solid effort. I suggest you pick up any of the characters that you're missing or love. And as far as the Build-A-Figure, we'll talk about that soon. I won't be doing Wolverine. I have him. He came, I bought the whole case. But I won't be doing him because I don't want him, and he doesn't come with a Build-A-Figure piece, so I don't need him. And hopefully I can sell him to someone else. So, yeah, other than that, I hope that helps. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.